everyone, welcome to the last session of the PP exhibition. My name is Olivia Ella and I am today's moderator for session 6 of Arts and Culture. Before we start, I would like to thank all the participants for joining in today's event. I would also like to congratulate all the speakers that has done really well at presenting their personal project today. As we know, this year's personal project theme is Live Your Passion, Inspire the World. And the themes at session 6 will be arts and culture. There will be 4 amazing speakers that will gladly guide you through their impressive personal projects. The speakers are Ingmar, Raisa, Andaru, and Adan. The first project, presenting Note Seluruh, a project by our first speaker, Ingmar. The stage is yours.
All right. Thank you, Ayla. Hello, my name is Ingmar Anargya Riza, and today I'm going to talk a bit about my project, which is named Notsuru. So, to give some brief information about the project, the goal of this project was for me to learn, to research, and to observe, and to also promote new Indonesian music through a video series that evaluates albums or EPs from new or underrated or established but have small fan based artists target towards Indonesian youths, especially in the international school scene. This main idea stemmed from two interests and one factor that I sort of put into. The first interest is my interest in music. I've had an interest in producing and composing music, and I also like to talk about music. Especially, when someone asks me, "What do you think of this album? What do you think of this song?" Especially from an artist that I know, I really like to talk about it, talk about the details and anything like that. And that actually leads to the second interest that I have, which is music journalism, or in simpler terms, is music reviews. I really like to watch them. I like to read them, especially in the context of when a new album or a new song comes out from an artist that I know. I always just like search it up on YouTube. What do other people think about it? Maybe search on Google as well. And I think that the internet has provided so many platforms where people can just where someone can say, "Oh, this album is trash," and then so many people can just join in on the discussion, and I find that very fascinating. And lastly, the factor that I took into consideration is the lack of Indonesian music that I listen to. This doesn't really seem like a huge problem, maybe to some of you, but at the time of me developing this project, I sort of felt a lack of sources of inspiration. Um, I felt that I needed more inspiration, and I was only listening to the same stuff from the same genres. Um, and I thought that coinciding with the fact that I don't listen to a lot of Indonesian music and with the fact that I needed more sources of inspiration, I felt that through this project maybe it could help me to find those sources of inspiration. Um, and so this is the product success criteria. I have like a full table with the form and the cost and everything, but this presentation, I'm gonna just sum it up to the main points. The first point is that the video would be 5 to 15 minutes, and it would be uploaded every Wednesdays and Fridays. It would feature the review. Each video, sorry, would feature the review, a track breakdown, which is basically like an analysis or like a breakdown, a very general breakdown of each of the song on that record, and also an interview with the artist. The video would be in English, as my target audience is for youths around the international school scene, but with subtitles provided for those who don't understand English. I have Indonesian and English subtitles as well. Um, and each video, I forgot to mention that there will be 5 videos. I plan to create 5 videos, a minimum of 70 views, and then the project would be completed in early to mid December. The reason why I put 70 views is that I thought that it would be a good representative for my target audience. And so for the ATL skills that I wanted to use and gain throughout this project, I picked two, one of which is communicative skills. I thought that I could gain and use communicative skills through presenting my thoughts and opinions to with the video series. And in the development of this project, I would also can gain communicative skills by learning how to do so in the most correct way. And then I thought that I could gain my thinking skills by evaluating and reviewing those albums itself, and also, or those records, sorry, and learning new perspectives on music in general. So here are the five chosen records that I decided to spotlight for this video series. Just a bit of backstory. To find all these five records and these five artists, I mostly went through a lot of Spotify playlists, a lot of like Spotify collections, but mostly I focused on two playlists. One is Fresh Finds Indonesia, which is basically like a playlist where Spotify could spotlight different debuting artists or very underrated artists into basically a very big place with a lot of followers, and also New Music Friday, which is basically like a weekly recap of everything that has been released in like that 1 week. And through those playlists, I was able to find a lot of new Indonesian artists, a lot of really debuting artists who just debuted like in the midst of me doing this project. But in the end, I focused on artists who had already previously released albums or EPs, because the main idea of this project was to evaluate those albums and EPs. And so I picked these five records. One is Storm Outside My Bedroom from Arsa, Love You Leave You Behind from Kamar Biru, Blood Buzz from Denisa, After Summer from Navicane, and Puncak Janggal from Lays. And so I'm going to talk a bit about the product making process. The first step of the process was for me to write my initial thoughts after picking records. Basically, I would just listen to them in a very casual setting. Oh, sorry about that. And then I would just, after that, I would just write what I thought of the album as the first time listening to it. I just said like, oh, this album is good. I like this. I like that. Um, and then I would also listen to their previous work, like their previous singles or their previous albums or EPs, just to check out and to compare to the album that I was spotlighting and to the albums that they've already released. And then the second step of my process was the research process. As unfortunately, I wasn't able to get any expert interviews on this project, for this project, I decided to mostly study other videos in the same genre, so to learn about the genre itself. Um, for the YouTubers that I mainly studied for this project, I mainly studied two YouTubers. One is Anthony Fantano, who is a internet music reviewer, mostly well known as The Needle Drop. And number two is Lebak, who is a reviewer, commentator who mainly focuses on anime and manga. And from them, and also from studying music reviews, I learned a lot about how to structure your content, how to add jokes if you want to really engage your viewers in your video and stuff like that. Many details surrounding the video making. And then the next step of the process was the track breakdown making and the eventual script making. So for the track breakdown, I would just listen to the album or the record a second time in a more focused environment, and then I would have a notebook where I could write my notes on what the details are. This is basically the notebook that I used. It's a lot of messy stuff, but you get the point. And so there's basically, and then after that, I would go ahead into the script making process, where I would have a set template for the structure, and all I had to do is just fill in the content, fill in all the information, and fill in all the track breakdowns and analysis and the review, anything that I needed for the video. And then the next step of the process was the video recording and editing process. I would just record all the videos and put them in my editing software, which is iMovie, and then I would have the script right next to me, right next to the app. Sorry, as you can see from the screen there. Um, and then from there, I would just uh, edit the video, edit the clips, cut anything, add sound effects, add the music, anything that I wanted to add. And then not this is not really a step, but the final sort of step in the process was the actual interview. Um, so a bit of backstory. In the process of making the script, I'd already asked all five artists and their contact persons to have an interview session to talk about their album and um, to talk about themselves. However, in around mid-November, as I had a deadline for this project and I also had various responsibilities, I decided to initially not do the interviews as for those reasons stated before. Um, However, on the upload day of the first video, actually, the band Kamar Biru actually reached out to me and said yes for an interview. And so I had to like compromise my upload schedule, and I had to really think about how I would continue on with that video, as the Kamar Biru's video was supposed to be the second video that I would upload. But however, the interview went well and the upload schedule was compromised. And from that interview session, I learned a lot about themselves. I learned about a lot about how they created Love You Leave You Behind, and mostly I also learned about the band culture in Indonesia, especially in the pandemic. And to next slide. And so finally, the product was these 5 videos. As you can see, the episode 2 is the one that says featuring Kamar Biru, as that is the only video where I featured an interview. But overall, these are all the 5 videos, and thankfully, all of them have reached 70 views. So I'm very, very happy for that. And so, just to wrap my presentation up, I want to talk a bit about my challenges and also the impact. The challenge that I mostly faced throughout this project was definitely time management. I think a lot of the other students, a lot of the other people facing through personal project also has had this challenge. Um, at least for me, since I started this project around very end of October, and since I had a lot of other responsibilities with schoolworks, summative assessments, semester exams, and then I have a lot of personal responsibilities as well. Um, there are a lot of times where I had to make sudden decisions. I had to rush several things, and I had to make very sudden compromises. And sometimes I was just very unmotivated to continue this project. However, I felt that the journey was worth it, as I found a lot of personal impact for myself and an impact for the community and my target audience around me. For my personal impact, I, for one, was able to find a lot of talented Indonesian artists and musicians, and I was able to sort of understand the most popular genres in Indonesia nowadays, and for debuting artists as well. And for the community impact, for just a bit of backstory, I put a feedback form on the last video, the 5th video, where people could submit their feedback, submit their comments, what they thought of the series overall. And through that form, I was also able to see the demographic of people who actually watch my videos. And through that, I found that many people, most of them are youths around 13 to 18 years old, they enjoyed the series and then stated that they have listened to the albums that I recommended. But even they said if they haven't, they said they were interested in listening to them. And at the same time, they also gave general feedback towards the series around the content, the structure, the editing, and stuff like that, basically. And so that is basically it. Thank you for listening to my presentation. You can check out my videos or the video series. You can search up Notes Loro on YouTube, or you can, maybe it's already mentioned in the comments or in the live chat. So thank you. Back to you, Ayla.
Thank you, Ingmar, for presenting. That was such an interesting topic. I might have to look at your video, and don't forget to check out Ingmar's video in YouTube called Notes Seluruh. Passing the stage to our next speaker with the project Deficit by speaker Adan. The stage is yours.
Okay, thank you so much, Ayla. Hi, everyone. My name is Adan, and I am very excited to present to you guys Deficit, a short film project. Now, as a brief introduction, I have always wanted to create a new world, a new universe, a world where anything is possible. And I want to showcase that and make it an experience that everyone can enjoy. Ever since they announced that my grade will be participating in creating a personal project, I knew I wanted to create a short film, and I was not going to miss this opportunity. My project, Deficit, is basically a short film project made for me to learn and showcase my interest in the world of film. SMART goals. So we will start off with specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. For specific, obviously I will be creating a short film, specifically a one-man cast short film about being isolated and being alone in an isolated area with limited social interaction. I want this film to be sort of like a metaphor for our current situation in the pandemic. For the short film project, the reason why I wanted to create a movie in the first place is that I want to create an experience for myself, and I want to expand my creativity in the form of a movie. Next up is measurable. I will track my progress by checking how aligned I am with my personal timeline and the school timeline as well. And also, I will track my progress using the personal project report as well. But other than that, I also have a few indicators of success, specifically 5 indicators of success. This includes how I need to get the viewer's understanding of the movie, and I will also need to get at least 50 views on YouTube. And third, I will have a movie that is at least 5 minutes long. Fourth, I will not be spending money on this project. And fifth, I will be publishing the movie itself. Achievable. There are actually a few steps to my project, and I must take in order to finish my project. And uh, for YouTube videos, but I would also like to do interviews with um, movie producers as well. Therefore, for the steps, I have separated it into 3 different steps: investigation, product making, and also publishing. For investigation, I will be doing a research on how to produce a film. This includes internet searching, using articles, YouTube videos, but I would also like to do interviews with movie producers or people who have worked in the film industry in the past. Second is product making. I will start planning, creating, and editing the movie itself. This includes writing the script, selecting sound effects, soundtracks, and preparing editing programs as well. Then I'll be starting shooting the movie and then creating the movie itself. And for publishing, I feel like this is quite self-explanatory because, well, it's just publishing. I will be publishing it to my friends first. I will be giving a preview to my friends, and then I will distribute it through social media using YouTube. Next up is realistic. Because I have always wanted to create a short film, I've always wanted to learn how to produce my own movie. This includes every part of a movie production process. Not only the shooting, I want to learn the full steps: creating a script, selecting suitable soundtracks for the movie, playing the character, and editing the movie itself. In the future, I want to pursue this as a career. And to me, it is important to start now, especially since personal project is the perfect chance for me to start having experience in movie making. Time bound. When to start and when do I know I have reached my goal? For when to start, I was very excited to do this project, so I wanted to start immediately, and I wanted to start right after my supervisor have given me the approval for to do my project. And when I know I reached my goal is when I have achieved all of the indicators of success that I've said previously. Skills and experts. There are 2 main skills that I use throughout my journey of doing this project. The set skills are communication skills and also creative thinking skills. For communication skills, I had to use my communication skills in order for me to uh, get an exclusive interview with well-known Indonesian filmmakers. Other than using my communication skills for my investigation, I had to use my communication skills to create the film itself. It may not be obvious why I needed the communication skills to create a film, but in order for me to convey a message through the form of a cinematic masterpiece, I need to be able to communicate to the audience in many different ways. As we all know, in a movie, it's not just audio. I need to be able to convey a message without the use of verbal communication. I need to be able to communicate to the audience through symbolism, color, sound effects, cinematography, facial expressions, body language, and so much more. For creative thinking skills, creating a movie is a full creative process. Without my creative thinking skills, I would not be able to create the movie in the first place. I didn't only use my creative thinking skills to produce a story, but I also used my creative thinking skills to identify the soundtracks I wanted to add to the movie, the sound effects I needed, what the character says, the cinematography, and much more. For the expert interviews, by using my communication skills, I was able to get an exclusive interview with filmmakers Riri Riza and also Gina Esnur. I didn't just ask about the technical side of how to create a film, but I mostly asked about the philosophy of creating a film. What makes a film extraordinary? What makes a cinematography good? How do you develop a story? I am pleased to say that out of all of my investigation resources, I have learned the most from these two. I've learned the most from the interviews I did with Riri Riza and also Gina Esnur. My research results. Other than my resources from Gina Esnur and also Riri Riza, a funny thing is a lot of my research actually comes from watching movies. That's because there's no single way to create a movie, right? Therefore, my best source of learning was actually to find inspiration. I found lots of cinematography inspiration from movies like The Suicide Squad and Eternals, and many more. And other than getting information from my interviewees, I also found lots of information from other filmmakers like Wes Anderson, Quentin Tarantino, Chloe Zhao, Steven Spielberg, and so much more. My final product. Throughout the whole process, I managed to make 4 drafts of the script. But by the day I've actually shot a few clips, I only had 3 draft of scripts. But then I decided that the story was not good enough and I had to restart the whole thing. Why? Because it just didn't live up to my expectations. I feel like it's not what I imagined in the first place. And I feel like I could do so much better than what I just wrote. So therefore, I decided to just scrap the whole thing, restarted everything, and then finished making my 4th draft of script. I needed to use my self management skills in finishing the project. Although I must admit that my self management skills weren't the best, I still used it to my advantage. A problem I faced was not being able to follow my timeline. When I made my timeline or action plan, I didn't take into consideration that I had other activities such as semester exams. Because of that, I wasn't able to stick to my original timeline. And because my timeline didn't go as planned, I needed to make sure I was able to finish the product on time without the timeline. I had 2 sleepless nights spent just editing the film. Although I think the final product could have been so much better, I'm proud to say that I actually finished it. Challenges and impacts. There was a period in my personal project journey where I ended up losing around 50% of my files. And obviously, I did not expect this and I did not have any backups. So, um, I wasn't prepared for this. And I lost those 50% of those files for around a week. And during that week, I could not do anything. And it's not possible for me to retake these shots. It was not possible for me to retake the movie because in the movie I cut my hair, and if I were to retake those shots, it would break the continuity of the movie. And all I could do was basically to just find a solution to retrieve these files. And I did, luckily. But because I lost it for a week, I ended up only having 3 days left to finish the whole project. This ended up with me needing to pull all nighters for 3 days straight. During those 3 days, I had to drink lots of coffee to make sure I stayed awake and finish my personal project. When I started creating my timeline, I underestimated the amount of work it took to create a story, develop the story even further, write the first draft of the script, perfecting that script, shooting the movie, and editing the movie. On paper, it may seem simple. It may seem as if the steps are easy and don't seem like it's a lot of work. I even thought I could finish the project in 2 days, but then, well, now we know that that's basically unrealistic. But I didn't take into consideration the weight each step actually had. Each step of creating the movie, starting with planning the idea to publishing the movie, had to be perfect. It needed to be crucial, and it needed to be perfected. That's what took the longest time, perfecting my ideas. That wasn't even taking into consideration that I needed the motivation in the first place to perfect the said ideas. For the impacts throughout the project, I've learned how to create a movie, the challenges, what to prepare, etc. While I was creating this project, I learned the importance of a solid story and character. It's not enough to have amazing CGI or extraordinary cinematography, interesting characters when it lacks in plot. It may seem obvious, but it's surprisingly easier said than done. Although I only had the goal of 50 views for my film, I ended up having 150 plus views, and currently I think it's around 190. And this resulted in more feedback than I expected. My project was able to impact other people since my project is a movie about a metaphor for our current situation. I strongly believe that people are able to relate to what I represented in my movie. This can be proven through the feedback form I made. In the feedback form, I also asked if people understood the message of the movie, and surprisingly, everyone in the feedback form replied that yes, they did understand. And I will be sustaining my project in the future. I will try to turn this YouTube channel that I created for this personal project into some sort of portfolio for future projects. Although currently I have no plans on creating a future project. If I were to have any, I already have the YouTube channel and the services to do so, and I can just reuse it and make it as a portfolio. That's basically all for my presentation. Thank you so much for listening. Back to you, Ayla.
Adan's presentation made me really interested in the Indonesian film industry. Make sure to check out Adan's short movie in YouTube called The Visit. Thank you, Adan, for presenting. The third project, Presenting Digital World, a project by our third speaker, Raisa. The stage is yours. Okay, hi everyone, my name is Raisa, and today I'll be presenting my personal project titled Digital World. My learning goal for this project is to create an artwork with the topic Unhealthy Attachment to Social Media and Technology. My project started off with a personal interest of mine, which is arts. It has always been my favorite subject, and I've always been very motivated to do projects for my art class. So, as I began planning my project, I wanted to do something that would motivate me. I chose unhealthy attachment to social media and technology as my topic because of how much we rely on technology and social media these days and how much of an important role it has in our lives. My aim with this project is to raise awareness of our increasing reliance on technology and the addictive nature of social media, as well as how it influences people's lives in a variety of ways, both positively and negatively. This is my SMART goal. So, for a specific, my aim with this project is to reflect on our increasing reliance on technology and the addictive nature of social media, as well as raising awareness on how important it is to recognize our digital limitations and boundaries, and how it may help us utilize social media and technology more productively. For measurable, throughout the planning process, I developed my own personal timeline, which summarizes the activity and due dates that I have set for myself to fulfill the specific assignments listed in the timeline. It would help me keep track of what I needed to get done for the project. Achievable, I employed three major steps to guide me through the completion of my project. The first step was to investigate and conduct research about the concept and the message of my artwork, which is unhealthy attachment to social media and technology, as well as deciding the materials that I want to use for my artwork. The next step is to create a sketch that represents the concept in an understandable manner, which allows me to visualize how the artwork will appear. And finally, the painting process, publishing and showcasing the artwork, as well as collecting feedback. Realistic. So, as I began planning my project, I wanted to do something that is related with a hobby of mine while stimulously benefiting those around me. I thought the personal project would be a fantastic opportunity for me to experiment with different techniques while also having a total creative control over what I wanted to create in terms of art. Time bound. In September, I began creating a Google form to conduct a survey on people's thoughts on social media and how it affects their daily lives, as well as researching the sorts of materials I want to use within my artwork. Further investigation was done in October, which will be included the sketchmaking process as well as gathering feedback and the findings from the Google Form survey. Preparing for action, purchasing materials, and the making process will take place in November. The artwork will then be displayed on a website, and the audience feedback will be used to reflect on the outcome. So these are the two ADL skills that I applied to my project. The first one is research skills. I used research skills to get as much information as I needed to achieve my aim and finish my project. Research skills are definitely much needed and very important considering that I'm not quite experienced in creating a mixed media artwork, so all the resources and the information I gathered were really helpful. The next ADL skills that I chose is thinking skills. So to create my product, I use creative thinking skills for brainstorming ideas, concept, and techniques for my artwork. The research process. Before I began working on the painting, I did some research into the materials and techniques that are most likely to be employed in a mixed media artwork. I use a Pinterest application to collect images that might inspire me in creating the sketch for my artwork. I asked my art teacher for advice on tips on how to use spray paint, since I've never used it before and have always been intrigued by how it works. So I thought that I could use this opportunity to try and use spray paint as one of my media. I also created a survey. I chose to do so in order to learn more about how people perceive social media. My plan is to choose a few keywords from the survey results to help me decide what illustrations, visuals, or colors I want to utilize in my artwork to properly communicate the message. I utilized my creative thinking skills to design my product after conducting research to achieve my learning objective. Before constructing the final piece, I brainstormed the concept and strategies for my artwork since there are so many options with mixed media. But with the help of my research findings, I already have a clear concept of how I want my artwork to appear, what methods I want to add to the artwork, what materials I needed, and so on. From the survey results, I can see that the people that filled in the survey all interpret social media in the same sense, and that the topic I spoke about were somehow relevant to them. Here is a little barcode that you can scan with your camera. It would take you to the artwork display, and I'll discuss a little bit about my finished product.
So for my artwork, I wanted every illustration to have a meaning behind it and to have a purpose behind it. I decided to include a painting of a person with their face dragged into a phone to represent how disconnected we may get from reality if we don't recognize our digital limitations. The melting clock illustration is inspired by the difficulty in realizing on how much time has passed when scrolling through social media. One line from my survey result in particular and really inspires me. It says social media can be incredibly poisonous at times, draining a lot of my confidence. So it's critical to consider when you need to shut off from the internet. And it is for this reason that I chose to include a stop sign in the artwork. I would say that the survey form also serves as a source of inspiration for me. I created a single statement that I believe successfully expressed a message, which is it's crucial to have digital limitations because I want my artwork to serve as a reminder. The most challenging aspect of this project is once again managing my time, but in terms of product, I would say that the artwork is pretty difficult to create. There were instances when I had to paint over a specific color since the tones didn't fit well together, or I kept on changing my mind about what color I wanted to use. My first time using spray paint, I didn't really understand how difficult it was to control the spray paint because it always puts the paint in a pretty broad expanse, and I was expecting more of a line, but I made it work and took advantage of the effect that the spray paint created. I struggled the most with constructing the phone since it was quite tough to make the camera balance, so I opted to keep it plain, but I kind of regret not putting cameras on it because it would make the phone look more realistic. There are numerous instances when I feel stuck, like I don't know what colors to use for certain illustrations or what to add to empty spaces that I had, but then I recall my survey and took and read through the replies. My plan to sustain the project. I'm currently not planning on continuing the project for the time being, but if I do, my plan is to make it as a series of paintings with a few additional artworks that relate to the first one. I want them to have somewhat different meanings but are linked in some way, and I can add those artworks later on to the site I developed. I was intending on doing more than one product, but more than one artwork. But with the time that we have, I don't believe that I'll be able to work on the painting efficiently. So I think continuing my project for a few more artworks could be a fun experience in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Raisa. Your painting was immaculate. I hope you guys didn't miss Raisa's barcode scan to view her painting. Our last project, presenting a blog by our fourth speaker, Anderu. The stage is yours.
My name is Komangada Ruwiria Satya, and today I will be presenting the Indonesian food blog that I made for this personal project. So, anyways, for my project, I decided to, as I stated earlier, is to make an Indonesian food blog. And what is this Indonesian food blog? Basically, what I want to do is basically share the culture and the cuisine of our country. Anyways, my product, a food blog dedicated to Indonesian cuisine. So for my interests, I've always had like an interest towards the food and cooking techniques. I've always watched cooking videos in my spare time. They're always interesting, and I always seem to learn something new when it comes to those videos, like tempering, like when to add your seasoning, how to season your steaks, or when to what temperatures you should cook your steaks. But one thing that I haven't watched a lot is about Indonesian cooking. So I want to learn about Indonesian cooking. But another part of the interest I have is basically the cultures and histories of the food. One YouTuber that comes to mind is a YouTuber named My Name is Andong. He he's a he's a I think he's a German YouTuber or Belgian YouTuber who covers various foods. But when he does cover those foods, he covers a brief story about the food, where it comes from, or maybe the place itself, Other YouTubers include Adam Ragusia and Chef Alex. So my goal is to spread Indonesian culture, as I feel Indonesian culture is quite underrated compared to other cultures, from dance and cuisine. And I want to learn more about cooking myself, the techniques, what goes into the food itself. Uh, what I want to do is have a viable medium for me to share my culture to other people that includes friends. So when I talk about it, I don't need to repeat myself every time. So like here's a link, and to have a viable final product. So why a blog post? Well, I was set on doing a rendang specifically. I've always wanted to learn that. I've always been intimidated on what spices go into rendang. I've and I feel like as a chef, I need to learn more about spices. I was set on doing rendang specifically and learning to make rendang. It's something I wanted to do. It's also a very iconic dish, and I feel like it would make a strong but albeit cliche entrance for my project. A blog post is also a simple and fast way to document your learning. Like if you're learning a new technique or craft, starting a blog helps you as it documents your progress through it. You can also share the fruits of your labor to anyone, to your friends, your family. It's basically like an online journal, and journals are really important. You can always look back and you can always be proud of what you worked on. And ultimately, the best way to learn is by teaching the subject that you're learning. And I hope that by teaching everyone about this, I am able to learn about it myself in a better and achieve a better understanding of the topic. So here are my smart goals. Smart goals for specific. What I'm aiming for is a detailed blog post that contains the recipe, covers history and cultural background in a way that's concise, and that I'm able to share with my friends. Measurable. People read my blog, and I share the link around to my friends. I get comments, I get views. It's measurable that if I have you know achievable. Yes, I made the task relatively simple by making it one blog post, so it doesn't conflict with any of my school timelines with my school work. And I have skill and interest in cooking, so I believe that I have the abilities to achieve this. Relevant. I believe this project will provide growth for myself and those who read my blog, so we can both learn about Indonesian cooking and cuisine. I will also further my cooking skills and add to my arsenals of techniques that are in my cooking art library. And time bound, I am going to go by my dates and plans. I should finish before the 17th of December, but I shall elaborate on the next two slides. Here's my planning. As you can see, my planning is very bare bones. There's not much to it, and I wish, and this is something I will cover on the next, on the final part of this presentation, which is reflection. And here's my product success criteria, which is really simple, and it's something I have to admit, it's simple, and that's why I gotta reflect on it. Basically, the gist of all of this is basically I want to focus on quality over quantity. So here are the ATL skills that I learned through this. Communication. In order for my product to succeed, it needs to communicate my ideas and the information towards the viewers to minimize confusion and to optimize the reading experience. What this means is that I have to communicate properly. I have to use proper grammar structures, and I have to communicate my ideas in a way that makes sense. Not only that, in order to do my research, I also have to communicate through interviews and ask the right questions. Speaking of interviews, the second ATL skills is research. No blog is complete without research or information. You cannot transfer information or knowledge if you don't have the knowledge in the first place. So that's why I chose research as my second ATL skill. All right, my progress is so overall I made 3 or so attempts at making rendang, all with varying success. Some are harder, some are softer. But what is important is that I tried and tried again. I conducted interviews, searched the web, and observed how others made rendang. For example, I watched my nanny how to make rendang 2 times, and it gave me a general idea on how it's made. I searched recipes online. It's something I've been doing even before PP, but uh, when personal project came around, it's something that I wanted to try and research. I looked at the net to get my fix of information. I used my notes to keep track of research, and although I wish I could do more in terms of research, it's I'm pretty sure there's more, but more notes, but they're probably in my old phone. Oh yeah, and here's the highlight of my experience. I interviewed Chef William Mongso for rendang, yeah, who is a cook and a cultural ambassador for Indonesian cuisine. He is Gordon Ramsay's mentor when he was learning to make rendang, and an advisor on Garuda's Indonesia culinary team. From William Mongso, I've gathered the intricacies of the technique, the precision of heat control, and how that affects the final product, and the theory on how rendang came to be what we know today. Um, for example, how the different stages need mm, different heat, different temperatures in order to make the perfect product. Time management. I've used during this year, this term. This is not limited to personal project, but this sure does help. I use physical mediums to track times, meaning that I have to make an effort to update my calendar, my update my whiteboard, so I would pay more attention to what it is. So basically, what it means, I use a whiteboard. I use calendars to track time. I use, for example, the week calendar to tell me what day of the week it is. I write down the date every day, and I mark the calendars. It may be elaborate, but to me, I feel like these are necessary steps for me to manage my time. I can, which with each of these, I can see the impending due dates and the progress of time reaching me, reaching the present. And the fact that I have to do it physically means that I have to that it's not automatic means that I cannot just mind my own business. I actually have to make a commitment to it. So writing the blog, I've actually wrote several drafts, some in my notes, some on like Google Docs. Overall, I'm kind of proud on the final product. The grammar used to be really wonky, so I had to read the draft out loud to my brother. So he helped me catch grammatical errors. So that's another one for communication. An important part of the blog is communication. Really, without it, it wouldn't be what the product. It wouldn't be the product that we know today. So some reflection challenges. I feel like everyone just suffered from time management, and I feel like a huge part of that is the fact that during the personal project process, uh, the personal project timeline also conflicted with another timeline, which is the exam week. So we have to put our projects on pause, and we have to study for the exam. Yeah, but like even with my simple flight goals, the problem is that my plan and rubric are detailed enough for me. So I guess my plan leaving out essential details and not accounting for exam week, it kind of blew out my confidence and my motivation for the project. Personal impacts, and one of the impacts that this project had on me is that William Ronso actually recommended me to an intern job with one of his chef friends. I don't know who, but like essentially I'd be flying to Bali and I'd be learning in a village as an intern, as a cook. Another impact is that the fact that I did this project in the first place. Doing a project like this has greatly boosted my confidence in my abilities. Overall, this project inspired me to do, it makes me want to do more projects. Even if I don't know how to start, I still have it in my mind that I want to start doing more projects. And I hope I can make the time for those. The experience, and I hope I can document them. And the experience Not only that, but the experience on going through this project gives me an idea on what the project needs, what the goals are, and how to set a plan, and how to make that plan dynamic enough so it can, you know, account for any changes in schedule. And I also have a method to share Indonesian cuisine with friends, peers, and other users of the blog. Community impact. It's a great way to share, as I said earlier, it's a great way to share recipes and blog. I have made my kernel of effort to spread Indonesian cooking and culinary culture, and it even inspired others to make rendang for themselves. I have a, my my next plan to sustain the project is simple. Since it's a blog and I did one blog post, that who's to stop me from doing another blog post? This blog post this personal project is serving as like some sort of pilot post before it goes fully in the air. So basically, whenever I feel like it, I can just start another post. For example, I can make a post on tempeh or satay. There's endless possibilities to this project, and the way I did it is designed to be sustainable. And that's all. Sorry if that's all. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Andaru, for the amazing presentation. Don't forget to check out Andaru's blog so you can see the details about his project. And now I'm going to call out all the speakers to join me and answer a couple of questions that I have for them. Hi everyone. Okay, so the first question I would like to ask Ingmar. Hi Ingmar.
Hello.
And I want to ask, what type of music do you think interests and qualifies as music that Indonesian youths enjoy and why?
Thank you. That's really a good question to say. I think the music that I think interests or qualifies as music that Indonesian youths like is one that presents its vibes or themes right, and two, something that is simple and easy to listen to. What I mean by present is vibes right is that they are able to correctly and clearly present their song in a way that other people can find it relatable. Like for example, if you take "To the Bone" by Pamungkas, that song is about like giving it all to your love and everything. And throughout that 3 to 4 minute song, he was able to set emotion, that theme so successfully that other people like reacted to it, saying like, "Oh, ini lagu relatable banget sih," kayak gitu, like something like that. And two, something that is simple or easy to listen to. I don't think Indonesian youths like to listen to songs that are complex, except for probably K-pop. But K-pop mostly focuses on concept and performance. But I think songs like "Come Through" by Johnny Zucker or like "Darari" by Treasure, those are like very simple songs, and they're trending. They're heard everywhere, TikTok and any social media platform. So basically, yeah, those two interests or the qualities of Indonesian music that youths like, at least for me.
That was a really good explanation. I totally agree with your opinion, Ingmar. This can be a pretty hard question since the music era we're in right now has tons of genres and types, so it can be really hard to specify on one point. You actually answered the question really well, so thank you, Ingmar. And the second question I have is for Adan. Hi, Adan. The question is, what improvements would you put in the Indonesian film industry in this current era and why?
Okay, that is a pretty difficult question, but also very interesting. Thank you so much, Isla, for asking. I think I want to make films with a wider variety of genres and bringing films that are created by Indonesians to a more mainstream audience, branching it out to bigger audiences outside of the country. And we can actually see that's already happening and is already progressing slowly with the use of streaming services like Netflix, Disney Plus, HBO, and much more. Accessibility clearly isn't an issue here. So I see no reason for films that are created by Indonesians to not be branching out to a bigger market. We already have these streaming services, so why not put it to good use, right? And of course, representation is really amazing these days, especially since the current mainstream industry is very American centralized. I feel like there are many talents uh, out there that needs to be recognized. We have our own treasure in our industry, and I feel like we need to be recognized more for it. And the reason why I want to make films that has a wider variety of genres is because let's just take a look. When we see Indonesian films, what genres do we mostly see? Well, for me personally, I mostly see romance, horror, and comedy probably. And there's like no problem with that. People watch movies as an escape, unless you're watching a documentary where you're watching it to gain information. You're watching movies to be entertained, right? To enter a new world. I see no reason for Indonesian films to only peak at romance, horror, and comedy. I want to bring more genres into the Indonesian film industry, such as sci-fi and fantasy mainly. And I don't think the lack of market or the lack of demand for such genres is an issue. If that were an issue, we wouldn't see many Indonesians being hyped for movies like Marvel or DC. I think relating to my previous point, bringing more genres would be one of the many steps we can take to bring Indonesian films to a mainstream audiences internationally. That's it.
I agree with your statement. In my opinion, I think there are a lot of talented people in Indonesia that need to be recognized more, and I think our country's culture can really be a highlight on the Indonesian film industry. So thank you, Aden, for the great answer. And the next question I have is for Raisa. Hi, Raisa. In your opinion, what painting genre can be categorized into your painting, and what feeling do you want people to feel when they see your painting?
Thank you so much, Ayla, for the questions. For the first question, I would say that the genre of my painting is pop art because that was the vibe I was going for, and that was kind of the inspiration behind the style of my artwork. And as for the second question, I want people to recognize on how much social media and technology can impact you as a person and how it can also impact you mentally as well, and how important it is to set boundaries and utilize social media and technology efficiently.
Thank you, Raisa. I think you had a really great explanation about your painting genre, and wow, you have a really good message inside your painting. So thank you, Raisa, for your great answer. And the last question I have is for Andaru. Hi, Andaru.
Hello.
The question is, what impact are you hoping to make by having a diplomacy through culinary?
Well, I just hope that Indonesian food is more recognized. I feel like everyone here is looking to forward Indonesian culture, to spread Indonesian culture, especially with Ingmar and Adans. Adan wants to expand the Indonesian film market. Ingmar wants to the international scholar scene to like to acknowledge Indonesian music more. And for me, I want people to acknowledge Indonesian food more. I feel like most of us here have the same goal of like furthering Indonesian culture, making it more worldwide in this connected era. We want people to recognize us and to recognize what gifts we have towards the world, our flavors, our taste, our senses. I feel like overall, we just want to share what we have with the world and put ourselves out there.
Yes, same as Adan, I think we really need to highlight our country's culture, and I think for you to bring culinary to this presentation is a really good topic. So thank you, Andaru, for your great answer.
Our culture is strong.
Now it's time for us to answer some questions from the comment section. So if you guys have any questions for the speakers, please put the questions in the comment sections. And I think we already have a couple here, so I'm going to read it. The first question is from Damien. The question is, what tips would you guys give to next year's students who will do personal project? Anyone wants to answer first?
I'd like to answer. Basically, set your priorities straight. Make plans and make your plans. Well, you shouldn't make it too detailed, but you should have micro plans. Even if you don't have dates attached, you should probably work on the due date when you're working on that part of the plan, and maybe set it because and you have to update your plans in accordance to like things that happen. For example, you never know when an exam week happens. You have to plan around that, or else you'll be in a one heck of a time. Because everyone in this project really suffered from time management skills, and because of that, per that exam week, and that really set down our morale and motivation. So if you have that managed, you can also manage your motivation. You also have to find time to you have to also have to set time for your breaks, and you also have to make sure your rubric is strong, so you know what you're working for, and you know what qualities you want in your product.
Thank you, Andaru. What about Raisa? What do you think?
For me personally, I think choosing like a topic that you're very interested in, I think I choosing like an artwork as my product really motivates me, and I feel like that's what makes me be able to sort of keep track, or like be able to do my project in like a and like complete it in the timeline, in the time frame. And so that what really motivates me is that the project being a part of my hobby. So yeah.
Thank you, Raisa. And what about Adan?
I feel like I definitely agree with the previous speakers, and I just want to add to Raisa's point as well. I definitely agree with her, and it's really important for you to make a project that is based on what you're interested in, because that will be your source of motivation. If you're not doing a project that you're not interested in, then there's really no point, because you won't be motivated to do it in the first place, and you won't have fun doing it. Personal project is supposed to be something that you enjoy, because it's supposed to be about you, right? And I suggest to it doesn't really matter what your project is, unless uh it doesn't matter what your project is. Yang penting itu, it needs to be something that you're motivated to do, and something that you actually enjoy doing. And also what Andaru said is really important as well, and is a mistake that I personally made. So I feel like you guys should learn from my mistakes, and the mistake is not considering other um things outside of personal project. I was very blinded with excitement to do this project that I ignored other things such as semester exams, summative week, formative week, and any other school projects and stuff. And you need to really consider every step that you write and every step that you want to do, because it will result in a project that hopefully meets your expectations.
Wait, can I add more to my statements? Sorry. um, so like
Go ahead,
when
Andaru.
when you're establishing a plan and a rubric, what you want to do is break down what you need to establish in your product. For example, I'm making a blog, right? What does that blog contain? Food, right? But one thing I forgot to do in my plan is how to write a proper blog. So I should add that to my plan. Ingmar, would you like
Thank
to
you,
add anything?
Andaru.
Ingmar, would you like to add anything?
I'm gonna add a bit. Totally agree with all speakers, but one thing that I wanna add, don't pick a topic that you think is something that you think ini gampang, too much. Don't pick a uh motivated to do, and you're gonna just do it even more and more, I think. And so you really just have to find a topic that interests you. And so that's basically it.
For others' comments, I want to bring up the topic for our PP exhibition, Live Your Passion, Inspire the World. So for speakers, what do you guys think about this year's theme, and what does this theme mean to you?
Well, personal project is always about living out what you want to do. Like it's a commitment. It's a project, and you want to see that project be finished. You want to see that tangible object. You want to see it be shared with the world. You want to share it to your friends, your family, your schoolmates, and you want pride. So like you want to live your passions. You want to inspire the world to also create projects, because I feel like uh, another thing about projects, they really help you into getting into those good colleges, because like the colleges are not only looking for grades, but they're also looking for like what you do in accordance with your school. Like they see your projects, they see your community service work, they see that, and you're like, oh, this person, this person does they go the extra mile. They they're really interested in this topic. Like they do projects about this or that, like climate change, and then they're like, we might accept this person. Oh, sorry. Anyone want to add something?
What about what's your opinion, Ingmar?
I think with the theme, live your passion, inspire the world, I think that's a theme that's quite relatable, at least for people who are joining, who did personal project. I felt like this theme very much represents the sort of the main idea of doing personal project, which is to find your passion and to do something about it. And in the end, you also inspire the world, inspire your community around you. And I think to me, is very that sort of message theme very much reminds me of my journey in doing personal project, and also just us trying to find what we want to do in the future and how it can help others. And so maybe the others, maybe you want to speak.
So
Is it okay if I go? So for me, I think that I agree with Ingmar's statement. I think that the theme really highlighted each and every one of our passion and every one of our project is both basically inspired by our passion. And so I agree with Ingmar's statement, and yeah.
Yeah, and also I also would like to add, to me, this theme means like how we can use our current passion and dreams as a way to give back to our community, as a way to show the world our abilities, strengths, and also our limits. Okay. And I feel like arts have brought different people together, and cultures help to appreciate each other with their diversity. We hope that our Piddle project journey can inspire others and create awareness about the importance of maintaining the culture and identity of the nation and the global world, not only in music, film, food, and painting, but also artifacts, clothes, performing arts, rituals, and festive events, and etc. I would like to take this opportunity to thank everyone else, Ingmar, Raisa, Andaru, and also to Ayla, and also to our teachers and everyone in the live stream right now. Thank you so much for tuning in to our live session, and see you all later. Goodbye.
thank you. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in.
Disinilah tempat ayah ibuku percaya takkan ada batas untuk mimpiku bergerak, belajar, tumbuh jadi pelita, terangi langkah ceria. Tempat aku membuka mata, mengenal indahnya dunia, melangkah bersama, dekat hati belajar merdeka. Asahlah dirimu menjadi berdaya. Buka hati dan mata, cerdas bermakna.
Rumah kedua kita.
Aku membuka mata, mengenal indahnya dunia, melangkah bersama, berkarya untuk Indonesia. Maka jika jadi sekolah kita, membuka mata, mengenal indahnya dunia, melangkah bersama, berkarya untuk Indonesia. Maka jika jadi sekolah kita, maka jika jadi sekolah kita.
Hello, everyone. Hi. And
Hi.
welcome to the closing ceremony
Of the PP exhibition, Sekolah Cikal, Lebak, Bulus.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. My name is Muhammad Emirsya di Pas Pasaribu. I'm from year 10, and you're all probably wondering, who is this guy? Well, I'm here to be the MC for the closing ceremony of Personal Project Exhibition 2022. Now, of course, as an MC, I can't be alone to balance out the weirdness. So I'm here accompanied by my co-MC, Keisha.
And hello everyone, my name is Putri Lakesha Desire. You can call me Keisha. Thank you, Mirza. And I'm from year 9, and it is a great honor to be here today in this session.
Yes, it really is a great honor. So, what am I actually going to talk about? Well, here, let me speak. Here at the Personal Project Exhibition event organized by Cikal, we've seen many students show their personal project, but I have a question. Why do these students do this? What's with the personal project? Well, why do they have to do it? Well, from what I know, personal project, it's an opportunity for students to inquire, act, and reflect. They're here with their personal projects to explore an interest that is personally meaningful, take ownership of their learning by undertaking a self-directed inquiry, transfer and apply skills in pursuit of a learning goal and the creation of a product, and recognize an evidence of personal growth and development. So what it is, ladies and gentlemen, it's a learning opportunity for them to find out more about this world we live in. See, this personal project and the personal project exhibition event organized by Cikal, it also acts as a platform for students to share to people about a topic that they care about. It can be about an environmental issue, like how too many trees are being cut down, or maybe the air is filled with smog. It's all bad. We can't inhale it. Or maybe it's to raise awareness. Or maybe it's about how people are sad or they're not in their best state. They're all sad and we got to do something about it. This personal project exhibition event organized by Cikal acts as a way for all of us to realize that we still have work to do. We have the responsibility to take care of this earth for the next generation. Remember that. Okay, Keisha, what's next?
Oh, well, Mirza, so far we have learned and witnessed that each session and each speaker for the PP exhibition that were all so engaging and enlightening in their own distinct ways. Because in the last 6 sessions, we have seen 26 amazing presenters on a wide range of topics. And as a recap, in the past 2 days, we have seen many projects, especially the topics that were mentioned this year, such as in day 1, we saw topics mentioning hobbies, environmental issues, equality, and today, in day 2 of the exhibition, the topics were technology and innovation, mental health, and finally, art and cultures, which are also amazing. And now let's hear some words of appreciation from our PP coordinator, Ms. Effie Ferawati.
Woohoo! Hi, Miss Effie.
Hello.
Yay!
Hi, Kesha. Hi, Mirza. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I am Effie Ferawati. On behalf of all supervisors for Year 10, Personal Projects 2022, I would like to say congratulations to all of our students who are so brave to follow their passions, whose ideas of projects might come from their humble life experiences, and then who take the risk in setting up their learning goals and do their best in accomplishing the projects. For the last 2 days, as being mentioned by our MCs before, we have witnesses 26 presenters who shared what they have learned throughout the journey. Each project is unique since it is driven by individual passion and interest, and each student also set their own learning goal towards it. All projects are presented in 6 sessions that represent certain topics. Yesterday, students from session 1 share how their hobbies cooking, designing, gaming, and tea making have helped them to learn how to develop their life skills, enjoy life, and as well as to look their hobbies as their future education choice, career, or even business opportunity. And then from session 2, the environmental issues, we have learned that young generations show a great concern upon their surrounding and the world they live in. They learn how human behaviors and their decisions have big impact on Mother Earth. They have come with bold voices in raising awareness of waste and pollution matters, as well as showing their creativities in reusing and recycling daily products with the hope that the changes made by individuals along with policymakers and industries will create a huge impact toward a better world. Students in session 3 yesterday talk about equality. They have shown their great empathy toward others. They create projects that support people with disabilities, provide open information to those who wanted to pursue a career in sports. They make a creative way in voicing gender equality and educating people about gender stereotypes. Plus, they also show concern to children or people who find difficulties in mathematics, therefore, create a fun math book to encourage students to love and learn math. As for today, we have witnessed three sessions. In session 4, technology and innovation. We learn from these students that the breakthrough in technology brings impact to humans' life and welfare. We can see the possibilities of the future by learning astronomy and coding. We can also learn to make use of apps that provide and organize information and serve other functions that makes our days easier, like magic mirrors. And then we also learn the innovative technology like hydroponics that makes it easier for us to grow our own plants on less space but with high yield, like home gardening. In session 5 for the mental health, well, we learn that it is not easy to be teenagers. There are challenges and responsibility that constantly comes from peers, family, community, school, the world that affect their mental health. Self doubt, low motivation, stress, and other things may appear and can hinder them from knowing their self worth and showing their true potential. The presenters have successfully captured mental health as the real issues dealt by youth through their series of videos, arts, and photographs. The presenters also provide us with the wisdom of reaching out as a way to solve problems when they share their talk with experts, the counselors, and the psychologists. So hopefully, everyone, all of us here, can see these genuine voices of youth and be inspired in creating a healthy, positive, and supportive environment for our youth to live and grow. The last session, arts and cultures. How we enjoy the sessions that ended just now, music, arts, film, to culinary. They show their passions in arts and cultures not just by creating one, but also use what they create to send message. They also teach us to love, be proud of, and support local products. So, students, all presenters, hopefully, what you have learned, what you have experienced in your project, make you grow as a person, and make all the messages that you share here touch the hearts and souls of people and become the inspirations to many. Remember to always live your passion and inspire the world. A big thank also goes to those who participate in this event as MC moderators, runners, and data support. Your contribution are greatly appreciated. Once again, to all year 10, congratulations. Back to you, Mirza and Keisha.
Wow. Thank you so much, Miss Effie, for the words of encouragement, the lovely, lovely words. Okay, after the PP coordinator speech from Miss Effie, thank you. Everybody give it up for her. Woohoo!
Woo, Effie!
Okay, so after the speech, what we have here is a video video with music in it, a video music video, that's what they call it. Yes, a music video. But and here's the thing, it's by some of our friends, some of the friends that we know, Felia, Ingmar, and Pa Bagas Chatewaki. And so, before we show the music video, we'd like to invite those people to come on here and answer some questions for us.
Yes, again, let's welcome again the FBI performers, Felia, Pabagas, Satiawaki, and Neymar. Hi, guys! And can you...
Hi,
Thank you for having
how are
us.
you? How are you guys?
Good. Thank you for asking. Okay, guys, can you please share your journey and experience on making the video that we're about to show later on?
Okay, so I'm just gonna with the first in the video. The song is actually something that we made in a week, actually. And the song is inspired by the theme of PP this year, which is Live Your Passion, Inspire the World. And as well, from my perspective, as the three of us actually wrote the song together. From my perspective, the process of making my personal project. So I guess a bit of a general story. We started with the instrumental, and then we started developing the lyrics just about that theme, thinking of how we could empower others, how we could encourage others to live your passion and to inspire the world. And then after the elements, the song was done, and all left was the video. We can hit it.
Yeah, so rewind a little bit. At the very start, we were told to do a performance for the closing ceremony of this exhibition. And so we decided to write and produce an original song, which had to be related to personal projects somehow. So we decided to construct lyrics that circle the theme of this exhibition, like Ingmar said, which is live your passion and inspire the world. And the song, it's a bit of an inspiring song actually, with an upbeat tempo and encouraging lyrics, lots of motivating phrases. So I do hope that the song motivates everyone somehow. As for the lyrics, we wrote it together in a span of about 2 days, because again, as Ingmar said, we had only 1 week to make and finish the whole song. But in the end, we succeeded. So yeah, and later on when you hear the song, you can actually read the lyrics on the screen because there will be a lyric video. So after we wrote the lyrics and we figured out the melody, I recorded the vocals, which I sent to Ingmar, who mixed everything together. And yeah, he made it sound very cool and very, very awesome. So in general, the song's meaning is to live your passion and inspire the world. But obviously, if you wanted to live your passion or inspire the world, like in personal project, for example, you would have to go through certain challenges and ups and downs. But it doesn't mean that it isn't worth it. So in general, the song just tells us to keep going, to sort of stay strong and pull through because in the end, your hard work will pay off. I think that's basically it from me. I'd also like to highlight that we didn't do it ourselves. We also had help and assistance from Pak Bagas. So maybe Pak Bagas could share a bit about the song and the progress.
Yeah. Wow. Honestly, it's my pleasure and honor to do this project. And do you know what's the band name? The band name is called FPI, Felia, Bagas, and Ingmar. It's so cool. So so
Oh man.
so in this person, we have four persons, and Ingmar is keyboard synthesizer, bass, drums, loop, and he also produced this music. It's so cool. Thank you, Ingmar. And Felia is a vocalist, and honestly, your voice is fantastic. It's so cool. I'm not believe she can sing that a tone and vocality like that. So cool. And me as a guitarist, and one is Miss Glory as a manager. And Miss Glory can be great manager beside teaching, honestly. And so after this, we discuss about the genre. So Ingmar and me and Felia is talking about the genre what we want to produce for this project, and we choose pop electronic. And then after that, we just three of us make a lyrics and combine into one, and voila, you will see the music in this channel and will be streamed. And I want to thank you guys, Ingmar and Miss Glory and Felia, for this project. It's an honor, and I hope this tradition is always keep going. Thank you guys. It's so awesome. And I want to ask you both of you, how was the experience of the music video?
For me myself, at the start, I was a little bit worried because we didn't have much time, and I was scared we couldn't finish the song well or with good quality. But in the end, we did it, and I think the song sounds great. And yeah, so thank you so much to Inwar and also Pak Bagas because yeah, I'm generally very happy about the song.
Nice, nice. Thank you. I'm very happy as well. Thank you.
And I think I'm gonna just add a little bit. Yeah, I was also a bit worried that we weren't able to get to finish this project in time, but thankfully we did, and so all of us we did well, and we worked together quite well as well. So yes.
Yeah, so I hope everyone here enjoys the song later. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you guys so much for sharing your experience with us, and congratulations on finishing the video. I mean, 1 week you guys pulled through. Seriously. But I gotta say, I'm overwhelmed here. You're saying lyrics in 2 days, pop electronic. You know, I like me some pop. All right. So now that we've talked about your experience, you guys, thank you so much. Everybody round of applause. We're gonna see the music video, and I can't contain my excitement. So let's watch it now. Woohoo! Are you ready?
I feel lost, but I don't wanna give up. I feel empty, but the glass is half filled up. I feel sorrow, looking for silver linings. Like it's all dark, but the stars are still shining. Never give up, there's always a way. The sun will rise, and we'll start another day. Live your passion, inspire the world. Try to stream and look up for all the days you struggle to go through. Look up for all the moments that just felt so tough. Look up for all the precious people that we love. To grow things aren't always in your favor. Doesn't mean the process doesn't matter. If you have a passion, then you should commit to it. Pull through to inspire, and you'll learn from it. Never give up, there's always a way. The sun will rise, and we'll start another day. Live your passion, inspire the world. Just remember, look up for all the days we struggle to go through. Look up for all the moments that just felt so tough. Look up for all the precious people. Good and step above, yeah, and all the tides get dried up on the beach. Yeah, and our steps will drive us to the peak. All the burden we suffer is beautiful, and because all of the things will end in calm release.
Oh my god. Okay. Oh no, Mirza. That was a great video, and oh my god, that was such a great song. Oh my god. I can't believe you guys wrote it in a very short amount of period of time. I never could have imagined it if I just streamed it through YouTube or in Spotify. Oh my god. Pelia, your voice is so astronomically beautiful. It's amazing. The whole song is so good. Wow, okay. That was really good.
Yes, you guys all did very great. Felia, what a beautiful voice. All right, now that the music video is over, hello again, everyone. Back with me and Keisha here. Now, after that music video, I hope you all feel pumped. It was really, deep, you know what I'm saying? All right. Now that that's over, I want to take a moment here because I want to say a few things. Now, it's a great honor for me right here as the representative of the year's 10 students. And so, for that, me and all of them, we'd all like to entrust the personal project to the next generation, your generation, the year 9 students of Sekolah Cikal Bulus. And so, what I got here today is hold on. I have a torch here
Oh wow.
with me. Think of this as a passing torch. This is the personal project torch. It's very valuable. I got to be very careful with it. You know, it's worth. It's been here since the dawn of time. So I'm gonna be giving this over to you, Keisha. So here you go.
Oh. Oh wow. Okay, it teleported. Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Mirza, for this torch. Wow. And as a year 9 representative, we would like to thank this somewhat passing of the torch of the personal project, and as we will do this for our next academic year. And oh wow, I'm sure it'll be a difficult ride and voyage, but oh my god, look at all of you, and you guys all did an incredible job, and you are all truly great inspiration. So thank you so much, everyone, and thank you, Mirza, for this passing of the torch. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Keisha, for the nice words on behalf of Year 10. You know, we all of us we wish the best for you. Honestly, personal project is such an important part of Cikal. So we wish you all the best, and don't worry about it. You'll all do great. You know, it's gonna be difficult, of course, but you'll all do great. You all are smart kids, right? Yes. Okay, and so, oh, yeah. And so, as I've passed the torch of the personal project, I'd like to take a moment here. We've come to the end of the event, and I'm feeling grateful, and I'm grateful because so far, at least from my perspective, there hasn't been any technical issues or anything major that would stop the flow of the live stream. And so, let's all give thanks to God Almighty for that blessing, and of course, all the other blessings that we all get every day, hopefully. And for that, me and Keisha here, we'd like to invite Pa Arwin to lead the closing prayer. So, Pa Arwin, if you could come here.
Okay, thank you, Mirza and Keisha. Ladies and gentlemen, and our beloved students, at the end of this PP Exhibition Year 10 events, let's pray together to God Almighty. For brothers and sisters who follow religions other than Islam, please pray according to your respective guidelines and beliefs. O Allah, the most gracious and most merciful, all praise and gratitude we give to you for all the blessing and gifts that we feel every second of our lives. We thank you for the abundance of grace and blessings from you. We have succeeded in organizing the education celebration event of our students, namely the Personal Project Exhibition Year 10, for these 2 days smoothly and successfully. O Allah, the Most Wise, in this good moment of togetherness, we also want to beg you, bestow us the strength of heart, mind, and body, so that we can continue to work as best as we can in order to provide the greatest benefit to our society. Please give us your guidance and direction through all your greatness signs, so that we will always be aware that it is not how much we can achieve and enjoy from our knowledge and hard work, but how much positive impact we can spread on our environment. O God Almighty, you have given us various mandates in the form of health, learning ability, economic adequacy, a supportive family, a conducive school environment, and many others. However, as humans, we often make mistakes and careless. So we beg you, strengthen our parents, our teachers, our Sekolah Cikal leaders, as well as all our friends on struggle who have the same vision, so that we can all be consistent in reminding each other, supporting each other, strengthening each other, immediately correcting the mistakes we made, and getting up when we fall. As long as you are pleased and with us, there is nothing for us to fear in our lives. Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, Ya Kudus, Ya Salam, Ya Mu'min, Ya Muhaimin, Ya Aziz, Ya Jabbar, Ya Mutakabbir, Ya Dal Jalali wal Ikram. Allah, with all humility, please accept our prayer. Amin, Ya Rabbal Alamin. Thank you. Back to you, Mirza and Keisha.
Amen. Whew. All right. So, guys, now that the prayer is done, I guess that marks the end of the closing ceremony. Yeah. And so, before we leave you guys here, we'd like to thank the crowd for staying around to this point, and other participants for their contributions.
Yes. So thank you guys so much for sticking around until now. And we would also like to extend our gratitude and appreciation to the Year 10 presenters for their outstanding projects. So give it up for you guys. And Year 10 homeroom teachers, principals, vice principals, PP supervisors, moderators, operators, runners, and data support. And most importantly, we would like to all thank the parents of the Year 10 students who have supported us every step of the way. So, everyone in this list, thank you very much. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry. Thank you, everybody. All of you guys were key in making this all possible. So thank you. I love you. Okay. I love you. And so,
Okay.
after saying our thanks, that's all for this year's PP exhibition.
Yes. So, guys, remember to live your passion and inspire the world. And we'll
See you
see you
guys
guys
next year.
next
See you
year.
guys next
Bye.
year.
Thank you.
Bye.
Woo,
Bye.
bye.
I feel lost, but I don't wanna give up. I feel empty, but the glass is half filled up. I feel sorrow, looking for silver linings. Like it's all dark, but the stars are still shining. Never give up, there's always a way. The sun will rise, and we'll start another day. Live your passion, inspire the world. Just remember, look up for all the days you struggle to go through. Look up for all the moments that just felt so tough. Look up for all the precious people that we love. Trust the world with all you got. Trust your gut and step above. Yeah, and all the tides keep dried up on the beach. Yeah, and all our steps will drive us to the peak. All the burden we suffer is beautiful and big. 'Cause all of the things will end, karma these. It's true, things aren't always in your favor. Doesn't mean the process doesn't matter. If you have a passion, then you should commit to it. Pull through till inspire, and you'll learn from